You're not going to get more leads unless you stop using tools that refresh data every 3 months. You see, cold email marketers have lied to you. You've been told that the tool matters, when in reality, it's actually the data freshness that really wins. Let me explain. You see, a few months ago, we were all in on Apollo. It's a cheap tool, it's very easy to use, or a bunch of scrapers that we could just scrape for very cheap. And then the scraping crackdown happened. Suddenly, Apollo started to shut down all these scrapers. And on top of that, LinkedIn also limited Apollo on how it could scrape and use their data. And then suddenly, the contacts that we got from Apollo and these scrapers became more expensive and just became not worth sending to. You see, it was like a before and after. After this crackdown, we were using the same exact targeting, same type of email and offer, different data, and the result ended up being not that good, right? Apollo's entire model is built on scraping. You scrape LinkedIn, you get contacts, you send volume, and that's about it. It's just volume-based scraping, more like a spray and pray approach. Again, that works completely fine when LinkedIn was very loose with the regulations, as well as when outbound wasn't as saturated as it is today. But then compliance tightened, data got expensive, and they simply just haven't innovated new ways of getting data, right? The people that are on Apollo and the data right now is already outdated. They're not even verified. And it just is a bigger hassle to use Apollo rather than any other tool out there on the market. You see, LinkedIn profiles, on the topic of profiles, update constantly. People change jobs, companies pivot. By the time Apollo's data refreshes, you're like messaging ghosts. Like, people have just moved on, right? And that's when we were in the market. We were looking for a solution, and we found a tool called AI Ark. You see, AI Ark it's not just like a scraper. It's literally a researching scraping tool, right? You tell it, hey, find me founders at CPG companies or CPG brands, maybe Series A funding the last 18 months, it finds them. The data updates every 2 weeks to 4 weeks. It gives you context with every contact, job history, company growth, hiring velocity. And on top of this, it's actually giving you verified emails. So overall, the thing is, AIARC costs less than Apollo, but overall gives you better results for what you're paying for less money. Literally better data for less money. And look, at our agency, we're both Apollo partners and AI Arc partners. So we have relationships with both. But even knowing what's inside Apollo and becoming an actual partner, we still pick AI Arc over that. And I like to tell this to people nowadays where maybe they have social proof and case studies and offer, and they're coming to me and they're saying, Arian, I followed your scripts and it looks like nothing is really working for me. I have a short script, I have a good offer, the CTA is good, and I'm just not getting as many positive replies as I thought I would. And I tell them, look, where are you pulling your data from? And they say something like, yeah, Apollo. And I sit there, I look at them, I'm like, look, you honestly, you're not bad at cold email. You're following all the rules and regulations. It's just the data that you're using is horrible. Apollo is just dead weight at that point, and that's good news because switching doesn't take too long, right? So here's the real differentiator between the two. With Apollo, you get a list, then you have to verify it, run it through a verifier, check emails, filter out bounces, and by the time you're actually done verifying, you'll notice that really only about 50 to 60% of your initial list will be good to send to, right? So if you pulled a 10,000 person list, only 5 to 6K will be sent to, right? With AIARC, the leads automatically come pre-verified, pre-cleaned, pre-checked. You don't even have to run it through another tool. You don't have to lose hours on switching between this tool and going to this tool and this tool. You get the list and you send. And on top of this, the AIARC database is actually much larger than Apollo's. You see, Apollo publicly says that they have about 230 million contacts on their database. AIARC, on the other hand, has 400 million. So that's the biggest game changer here. Apollo gives you less data and makes you do extra work on the data that's already outdated. AIARC gives you clean, verified contacts right out the box. And not only is it fresher data, you're getting fresher data that's already ready to send to. There's no extra steps, no verifier, or none of that stuff. And that's why most people are switching. And what I recommend you to do. So let me show you exactly how AI Arc works and why you should go ahead and make the switch. This is AI Arc and how it looks like on the inside. So as you can see, we have a sample list that I just made, top of my head, just to show you how specific it gets. Right now, you'll notice that overall, the look wise, it looks very similar to Apollo, which I will admit, the old, well, at least with the old Apollo UI, it was very easy to scrape and it wasn't too complex. Then the one that I have now is honestly a little bit too much and it's a bit confusing. But notice, pretty similar to Apollo. What I do like is the profile pictures that they have for each person here. And again, small little thing. Obviously, that's not going to make you more money, but it's a small little thing that they have on the database that I like a lot. So sample list wise, here's what I have. I picked CEO, owners, founders, pretty standard stuff, with 11 to 100 employees in the US. And what I did specifically that was super interesting was that I filtered by education. And so you could literally look up the type of school that someone went to. So if you know that you work specifically with your school's alumni, for example, I just picked Harvard Business School here, but if you know that you would love to work with someone from your school's alumni, this could be a really good trigger that you can use and you could just reach out to, right? And again, you could literally include anything. They have everything: UCL, MIT, Oxford, Harvard's right there, Stanford, all of that is all right there. And so it gets super, super good. Now I am curious to see, and I'm going to build this with you. I just picked Harvard. And wow, only 552, interesting. But Harvard in the US. And so, again, you can just pick anything. You can even pick language skills. Again, this is all pulling from LinkedIn. And so if you know that, okay, maybe I need to go out to people that can speak Chinese. I don't know. Like maybe that's your competitive advantage, your USP, your unique selling point. You can also pick that, which is really good. Granted, it might not be that much, but it will be still, it's a nice filter. Certification, if they have anything certificates, I'm thinking maybe anything like AWS. I don't know if anybody will have this. Okay, look, boom, some people do. But certification as well, if you only want to work with, let's say, AWS certified people, super, super well. Profile badge on LinkedIn, if you know that they're a verified account, or maybe they're open to work, or they're hiring. Again, this is all stuff that you just don't get on Apollo, right? And then you can go down to industries. Of course, this is standard. You can pick whatever. Software, wholesale. Industry-wise, it'll all be the same. Like in terms of, you'll definitely get more results with this, but it'll all be the same in terms of, in terms of the types of industries. But again, super cool feature. Technologies, Apollo has as well, but you can use this some here. The next one I really like is headcount growth. And so again, you can see we have 552 people with verified accounts, Harvard University, CEO, owners, founders, that have had a 10 to 50% employee growth in all departments over the last 12 months. So you see how specific you can get with this type of stuff. And again, I'm getting really excited because it's like if you pull this list, you can literally be like, hey, I saw that you went to Harvard and recently your company has been growing by X amount, right? And you could literally just put all that in a copy without using anything like Clay. You can use employees by department even. If you know that, okay, I'm selling my marketing services, I work really well with companies that have at least 5 people in the marketing department. This is super good. And you can really go through with that. Annual revenue, standard stuff. I will say we found that this is a lot better than Apollo's annual revenue filter. It's still not going to be 100% accurate and 100% there, but this is pretty good. Honestly, this is pretty good. Funding as well. This one we haven't used as much, but I would still play around with it, try it out. You could also do operational language. So like, let's say, okay, say they're an international company based out of China, but they have offices in the U.S. You could still put if their operational language is Chinese or Mandarin. Number of locations worldwide. So let's say you're going after manufacturing companies and they have to have at least five shops, for example. You've noticed that, okay, maybe 5 is the best. And again, super, super well. Founded year, pretty standard stuff. Social media, pretty standard stuff. Company info, image requests. These are most of the filters. And again, The biggest play here that I would say for most of you is obviously with some of these super specific filters, you might, the school targeting or the profile verified badge on LinkedIn, if you're also doing LinkedIn outbound, or the company head growth is, again, really good filter, or the company type, even. I think Apollo has this as well, where it's like public company and whatnot. You can also do product services. This one, I have found that we haven't had too much luck with it, honestly. Because we've done some marketing and whatnot, but it just didn't come up. But for most of you, the way I look at it is two things. You have one side, which is like this, where you get super specific and you get super into the nitty gritty of like, this is the exact type of customer I want, and I can personalize with this, and I can do this. That's one side of it. The second side of it, which I think would be beneficial to all of you, would be the fact that, again, all of this is pre-verified. Apollo data is ran through. Like everybody and their mother uses Apollo. But if you use this, yes, the contacts might overlap a bit, but the data here is more untapped than Apollo. And you don't have to verify it. It's so easy to just take this list right here, go click on this, click on export all, bump it into Smart Leader instantly, and just send it out. It's so easy because it's all verified. You will get more for your buck, and it's in general just better. It's just better. So that is what AI Arc looks like on the inside. And I think if you want to play around some of these filters, you can. But I hope the glimpse I gave you inside here will be better. And really, all I have to do from here is, like I said, just select all, export it to Smart Leader instantly, and start sending out emails. So hopefully this gave you a good idea of what it looks like on the inside. So here's the big picture, right? Every single person out there is using Apollo. That means your competitors are using Apollo. And everyone is pulling from the same data pool. So do you know what that means? Everyone is emailing the same people, and everybody is competing on the same exact list. If you switch to AI Arc, you're pulling different leads. You're pulling fresher leads, pre-verified leads that you don't have to run through million verifier demounts. While everybody else is out there spending time verifying stale Apollo data, you're already sending to people that are actually relevant. That is the competitive advantage here. It's better data, easier access, it's different leads than everybody else, and you just stand out by using a better tool. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is what I want you to understand. Apollo isn't just expensive now, right? It's inefficient. You're spending money on data that's 3 months old, spending time emailing people who already maybe moved jobs, and wasting time and money on contacts that just don't exist anymore. AI Arc solves that by being built for what most of you operators and cold email marketers actually need. Clean data, updated frequently, pre-verified, and ready to send. Better data will beat better volume every single time. You can send 1,000 cold emails to stale contacts or 250 verified people. The 250 wins. Right? And on top of that, the data freshness actually matters. The LinkedIn profiles are constantly changing, especially if you're not emailing CEO, owners, and founders. A person can move jobs and shift jobs every 2, 3, 4 months out of like a 10,000 contact list. So your contact list in general should not be more than 3 months behind. And then number 3, the biggest lesson that I want you to take away from this video is you've probably seen cold email videos like these, like mine, or anybody else on YouTube. So you know that offer is king. You know not to ask for a call on the first email. You know that you have to make your cold email short and whatnot. You inherently are not bad at cold email. You're not. Your tool stack is just outdated. And switching to AI Arc can immediately solve that for you if you know that you're doing everything right and it's still not working, right? So if you want to switch off Apollo and start using AI Arc for your outbound, there's a link in the bio. And other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. And also, if you are a B2B business and you want us to run your outbound campaigns and you make over $30,000 a month or more, click the link below to book a time to chat with me and we can see if you're a good fit. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.